Did I ever tell you about the cat I had growing up?
No, I didn't even know you had pets growing up.
I, uh, well, I did. And one of the cats, or the cat we had, her name was Josie, because she's a pussy cat. And
Okay.
Josie and the Pussycats?
Mm-mm.
No,
No. Is that a band?
it's a cartoon from the '60s.
Okay. Why does every fucking cartoon had to have cats in the 60s?
I don't know.
Fucking Tom is the only one.
Because everyone was obsessed with pussy and they just couldn't say it out loud.
Yeah, it was just fun to talk about.
Yeah. Anyway, we found this cat. We were in Colorado, and she was just in the woods. And my mom kept feeding her. And then one day, my mom just like, "You're ours now," and just snatched her up.
Was she feral? Like, did you guys like get her fixed?
Yeah. Well, we got all her shots and stuff. She was like maybe 4 weeks when we found her.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
she was just a kitten in the woods.
Oh, that's actually how my cat was given. So my girlfriend used to date somebody who's a fucking weirdo, and but he did find a kitten somewhere. I think like out like on a street or something. And so he took it home, and then he was like, "Well, my parents hate cats," and so he gave it to her. And then of course her parents were like, "Well, we can't keep this," but no, they're a bunch of softies, so they kept it. And it was her cat, and now it's our cat.
That's yeah. Most of my pets that I've had throughout my life was my dad was deployed, and he would come back and we'd have another pet.
Like, bro, that just took me to like a super dark place in my brain that I'm not gonna talk about. It's about a video I've seen on the internet one time. That is not a good time, because you were like, my dad was in the military and he would just come back with a new pet. I'll say it, if you really don't want to hear this, skip forward a minute. It's about animal abuse. It's this video where a bunch of guys who are like in the army or in Afghanistan, and they just have a puppy, and they all just like huck it off a cliff, and they're all just giggling.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, and I was just like, wow, that's fucked up. I never want to see this again.
Anyway, can I tell a nice story about my cat?
My cat actually is very nice. She's like super friendly to all people. She can be a bitch and she'll like gnaw at you sometimes, but other times she's nice. She's not one of those. She's a very social cat. Like, she'll actually like come up to you and like cuddle and like fucking fall asleep on my ass all the time.
Well, I was talking about it with my friends about how if you raise a cat young enough around dogs, they just kind of become a dog, and that's kind of how my cat was. Like, she would fetch, she would sit. It was weird. When we'd let the dogs out, the cat would go out too.
Fuck.
It would just, and the only bad part was she was, until she got bigger and older, she was just an outdoor cat for a while.
Yeah.
We would open up the door and she would just be gone for days.
Yeah. Cats are cool like that, man.
And she would come back covered in like dirt and like with, and I was like, well, who did you fight?
Yeah, exactly. There's like noob scars on it.
Yeah, I was like, you won, obviously.
My girlfriend has an aunt, and their whole family is like really earthy people. So they're like very spiritual and stuff, but they have a cat who's an outdoor cat. They've got like 5 cats, but one of them's an outdoor cat, and they're just like cool with that. Like, they sleep in the house at night, and like they go out and they'll call to the cat when it's getting too late, and the cat will actually come and shit. But since the cat was like an adult outdoor cat when they like finally started letting it in, it's a fucking trained killer, bro. Like, they would seriously, like, he would come home sometimes and he would just like have a squirrel.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh, you have food now. You don't need to do that. And so, they feel bad. So every time he goes out now, they put this big, heavy ass plastic bib on him.
Oh.
That basically cripples him from running too fast. so he can't catch jack shit. And it's so fucking funny because they live in this neighborhood. And like, Ellie and I will just be out like on a walk, or every now and then I'll be like on a run. And his name is Scruffy, and he's named that for a reason. And I'll see his scruffy little ass just going on a jaunt around the neighborhood, like hopping over a fence or something. And fucking every time he's got this big plastic bib on his dumb ass. He's just having a walk, and I'm like, dude, go home.
Well, it made me laugh because Josie would leave like rats and shit on our porch on our back door.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. I was like, why do cats do this?
It's a gift.
Yeah. And it's like, it's because the cat doesn't think you're eating right. And I was like, what the fuck are you? Don't fucking judge me.
Bro,
I'm eating fine.
Yeah, motherfucker. What is cereal even?
Yeah, I'm eating carbs and sugar. Yes, that's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Fuck.
You think that the loose dead rat's really gonna add
Your
something
your
to my diet?
Your fucking cat's like, oh honey, you need some meat on your bones. Treating
Yeah,
you like your own fucking grandma. Yeah.
And she was a good cat. She went on 3 moves with us, and she ended up, I think, right.
Oh, okay.
Ended up having her after I went to college, because my dad left, so it was just the cat.
He's your younger brother.
Yes,
Yes.
Riley is my younger brother. I probably shouldn't say his name.
Full
huh?
name. Yeah, we'll probably have to beat. I also probably shouldn't say my girlfriend's name unless she's cool with it. So we'll probably have to
Yeah.
beat both of those.
Yeah. We shouldn't talk about some of the most important people in
Yeah,
our life. Huh?
Yeah, so nonchalantly.
But yeah, I think she passed a couple months ago.
Was it like an actual like in-house or was she put down?
She was just in house. My brother
No.
found her, which sucks.
That does suck.
Most of the animals I've had, I've had Sierra, Molly, Lola. So I've had 3 dogs. One died going up the stairs. One we had to put down, and then Lola, who just passed a month or 2 ago, she just died. Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
Either we're not good at catching diseases, or our dogs are just super chill and be like, "Well, I'm gonna die now."
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you're cool with that,
it's like such a slow, like downward spiral. Like they start getting arthritis, and that's usually when you
Mhm.
can tell things are gonna go bad, and their eyesight goes. I've only ever had to be around like animals passing around animals that weren't my childhood animals. Like the one
Mhm.
that I had is this little way to destroy the microphone.
Keep talk about the trauma.
It was he's a Pomeranian / Shih Tzu, and he's still around. We got him when I was like 13, so he's obviously still trucking along. But no, pretty much every animal that I've been close to that's passed has been put down. So that is strange to me that they just like you just find them.
Well, I was pretty okay with that, because it's like that's how people die.
I mean, some people.
I mean, like I had a dog, Sierra. They got her in July of '96. I was born in November of '96. So my parents' year of '96 was they got married, they bought a dog, they had a kid.
God damn.
So I've had that dog's been around. I knew that dog longer than I knew my brother. Like, it's just been around.
Yeah.
So like, and she went on every move. She was totally chill. She was one of those dogs where, like, when I was a baby, I would just crawl all over her,
Oh,
and
that's cute.
she was just like, I have to do this
And be like,
because
you are a child.
it could
Yes.
be, because the people who like you feed me. So I gotta deal with this.
You smell dumber than the rest, so I guess I'll
Yeah,
put up
and
with it.
she was totally chill. And she just one day, she was maybe 14 or something. She was just climbing up the stairs, and I was in bed. And my dad came barging in my room. And was like, "You might want to say goodbye to Sierra. Like, she's gone now." And I was like, "Okay."
All right, Dad. Good morning.
Yeah, I was like, "Okay." And I think the worst part of that story is, so she passed,
Mhm.
and it was like maybe 10:30 at night, so we couldn't do anything with
You
the body.
can't take her to.
Yeah, so we put her, and it was like winter. We just put her in the garage on her mat. And I was like, I mean, yeah, like we have no other option.
It's fucking terrible, man. But yeah, at that point,
I remember
you're holding the meat of somebody you used to
Yeah,
love.
I remember I was such a fucking idiot too, because she died and like her tongue was hanging out, and I was like, that's probably uncomfortable. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
It's dead.
That is weird. Yeah, that is a strange like reverence for the dead thing that
Yeah.
we do. Like, oh, your eyes probably shouldn't be open. It's like he doesn't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like,
The sun's not getting in his eyes.
yeah,
like,
exactly. I mean, they are. They're just not fucking the.
They're not.
The
Yeah.
receptors ain't catching shit.
Yeah, she was a good dog. She was a real good dog.
I fucking think about that, man. Like, we really are just machines, and then when you turn the system off, like, it's I don't know, just like the shit still technically works.
Mhm.
A lot of it, it's
I-
just not.
I saw a headline where it said consciousness still goes on like a couple. I think they said moments, a couple moments after you die, and I was like, no, I want it to be off. I just
Yeah.
want it to be off.
That's fucking fucking rough, man. That's a whole nother conversation because that's like, well, what do you think happens after death? And then what experiences have you had with it? And like, what have you watched? For some reason, this is super like recent in my mind because Ellie and I watched. She was watching this documentary about people who had like near-death experiences, and a pretty common one is that they're dead for a while, like medically dead. Their heart's not beating, their brain has no activity. But then when they're resuscitated, they purport having like this. It's not a dream, but you could call it a dream where it's like very vivid, and they experience all of these things. The way they explain it sometimes is very close to that of like a psychedelic trip. And then they come back from it and they're like, holy shit, dude, my life is so different. I can't believe it. And then all this. And
well, I remember my brother telling me the chemical that's released in the brain is what gives those like you're talking to God moments. Because apparently your brain just like goes nuts and sends so many signals to so many different places. So
that's definitely what happens when you're on a lot of psychedelics. Your brain, it basically creates like new neurological, I don't want to say synapses, but that probably is, but new neurological pathways. So your brain is interacting with parts of the brain that it hasn't before. And it basically...
I just remember my brother telling me, it's like, dude, if we could harness those chemicals, you could have some crazy trips. And I was like, you're taking the wrong.
I mean, that's also...
I don't want the death drug in my brain.
I mean, but I think we already have it. Like,
yeah.
A big part of like LSD and basically any psychedelic drug is that if you take enough of it, you'll have what's called ego death, where I don't want to say your mind, but like whatever you are, whatever you want to call that, consciousness, a soul, your brain, whatever, I don't give a shit. Whatever that is, ceases to understand who you are. It ceases to be, oh, I understand that I am Ryan, and then you're just like, I don't know, you become like a hum, like a low hum that just hums at the same frequency as the rest of the universe.
That's crazy shit.
And so then you're like, oh, that's not okay. And you actually feel like you're dead. So yeah, I think we already have the death drug.
Fun.
Yeah. But I think that's why when people come back from like those super intense, they're called heroic dose trips, where you die, I think it's the reason it's similar to that of actually dying and coming back is because you are in some way legitimately dying. And so
I've never almost died, but I have seen it.
You've seen someone die or almost die?
Almost die.
That's interesting. I guess I've seen people get fucked up really bad.
I guess like inches away. Like when
So like almost hit by a car is what you're talking about? Or
like
what?
no. Like when I was younger, I was like maybe 5 or something.
Bro, what the fuck? Literally, so we couldn't release a podcast because of YouTube shitting on our file for some reason. The podcast that we couldn't release, it was all about one part of it, you talking about jumping off a fucking a sled going a million miles an hour and your brother smashing his brain into a tree.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only time I've almost seen someone die.
Yeah, bro. Fucking. Oh my goodness. You want to tell that like a real quick version of that just so we're not leaving everybody out?
So when I was like 5 or something, we went sledding with some friends, and the hill was like off of a highway, and I went into some woods, and we had a great time for about 3 hours, and then in the end, me and my brother, this is how it ended, because we're not going to be like, we'll keep sledding. we got on a sled, and we go down this hill like 60. We're passing speed limits. We're going like 65 miles per hour, and I jump off because I see a tree coming, and my brother did not. So my poor 4-year-old brother slams into a tree. A branch comes down and slices his head open. Like, just shears that shit.
Bro, how fucking hard you gotta hit a tree to make a branch fall out of it?
With the speed to, like, make...
like...
He made a tree a weapon hitting it so hard.
How the fuck did he... Yeah, exactly. How was hitting the tree not the thing that messed him up more than just the branch falling
Well,
off?
I assume, like, he must have had some... I think he still... probably has some kind of residual brain injury from that.
I mean, I imagine he probably just got a concussion, but
But yeah, he was like, he must have been like 4 or 5 or something. But yeah, that's the closest I've ever seen someone just straight up die.
That's interesting. I've never really thought about that. I know I played football, and there were a couple times when people got really bad injuries. Like,
I remember a lot of dudes like coming off the field and they were like crying, and I was like, "What's going on?" And it's like, I can't think. I was like, "Oh, okay. I don't know what to do."
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with a concussion.
No.
If anybody's listening and you happen to be young or you happen to be having kids or anything that involves thinking about doing football, the answer is you should not do football. It is so like, hey,
It's really bad for you.
if you love the sport, that's why you should do it.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're just like, hey, people think I would be good at football,
Oh yeah.
don't fucking do football.
Don't do it because it'll be cool.
Yeah.
Don't do it because you're trying to impress a parent.
It's
Do it because you enjoy it.
Yeah,
Do
that's
it
a
because
big
you
one.
enjoy it.
It's so fucking damaging, bro. Like my knees are fucked. I fucked up my back doing it.
I
got a concussion, and dude, when you have a concussion, I got like a mild to severe, which means for a month I didn't even feel like myself.
Mhm.
Like you have to fucking sit in a dark room for like 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Like you can't do shit, like because everything hurts your brain, and it's just the worst shit ever. It's just
I think a neighbor gave me a concussion one time.
from the shit you talk about, I would imagine you've had a couple fucking concussions,
I just-
completely undiagnosed.
I just remember we were playing like tag or something. I was like 8 or something, and this neighbor came out of nowhere. He was like the dad's kid or something. He started playing out of nowhere, and he like smacked me on the head, which sent me flying because look at me, you couldn't imagine how light I was.
Fucking wait, hold on. Like, what type of playing are you doing that he'd smack you in the head? Like,
We were just playing tag,
oh, tag. Okay.
and he was just like, I guess, got a little too into it, and he smacked me, and it sent me ass over head, and I hit the ground. And I remember going, it's light outside, and it's very dark, and I was a little woozy for about a week after that.
Bro, I cannot fucking imagine how hard I'd have to hit a kid
Yeah,
to make him do a tumble.
it's not
How
a lot.
old were you? How old were you?
I was here, so I must have been like 9 or 10.
Bro, that's still like 80 pounds.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot of force to make
Yeah,
80
yeah.
pounds do
Yeah.
a tumble.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I never really told anyone.
Yeah, he got off scot-free from child abuse. Like,
Yeah.
that's what that was. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, but that's rough. I think about that, like,
that guy was kind of a douche, though.
was he?
I should have pressed charges.
I should have drained him for every cent. But see, I deal with that in some regards because like I'm so much bigger and stronger than most of the people in my immediate life. The only
Mhm.
people that can like who could be able to put up with my strength if we were to wrestle are gonna be guys my size, and in my like close life that's gonna be like my older brother.
Uh-huh.
He's a lot shorter than me, but the dude fucking works out. Like
Mhm.
he could put up a good fight. But like my girlfriend is 5 foot flat.
Mhm.
So when we like play fight,
Yeah,
I get to put 10% of my strength
yeah.
into
You got
it.
to be really careful.
I'm so fucking light about it. She's over here throwing real punches and shit
Yeah,
at me.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's able to go all out. And I'm like, and then inevitably, like I'll do something and then she gets hurt. Well, it's not like fucking hurt, like she has an injury, but like, you know, she scrapes something or this or that. And then I'm like,
You accidentally do a Charlie horse, and you're like, oh, I felt awful.
but I mean, it's so fucking tough, man. Because I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm just playing around, dog. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a big dog. It's like a fucking golden retriever trying to play with a chihuahua. Like, and he's
Yeah,
fucking inevitably ends
Sooner
up
or
like,
later, that chihuahua's gonna get fucked.
yeah, it's gonna end up yelping, and it's like fucking hell, man. Shit's so. I think about that and the prospect of like having kids, or just like playing with kids, because then I'm like, man, like it is totally within my capability to 100% accidentally, with no malintent, fuck up a kid. Like actually just bust his fucking leg, like something like that. Like so.
Yeah, I didn't really play wrestle with my dad a lot growing up.
I mean, I did until I was like 4.
I just
You're just like, Dad, you'll kill me.
yeah. If there's one person who could, I'd absolutely be. I don't know, because I'm not scared of I'm more scared of all the women in my life because they've taught me that I can't hit a woman, so I'm just defenseless. But if there's one person that I would have a knockout, drag out, like anime fight with, it would be my fucking father. Because most of the time I'm like, when I see somebody, it's like, I could probably do it, no problem. But I see my dad and I'm like, there's too much history here.
No, yeah.
There's-
I'm gonna cry if we do this.
there's
That's-
nothing.
yeah.
Also, that motherfucker can like hang clean 320. Like, I don't know what he's capable
I don't
of.
fuck with that, bro. Hang clean is not something to be
Yeah,
fucked
like-
with. If you tell me you can squat a lot, I'll be like, cool, bro. If you tell, well, honestly, squat's pretty good. If you tell me you can bench press a lot, I'll be like, sweet, dude.
Yeah.
If you tell me you
But
can
those
hang,
those Olympic lifts.
yeah, if you can hang clean a lot, I'll be like, all right, I'll see you later. Like,
yeah,
I'm not
he
gonna fuck
told me
with
he's
you.
like, I got my power clean up to 215. I was like,
That's too much.
Who?
That's
There's
too,
so like that takes so much time and effort, and power
It-
clean sucks.
it's technique and then it's explosion. Like
Yeah.
it's like if you
it's
have
explosive strength.
if
and
you have
that's-
that much
that's the
explosion,
scariest kind.
Yeah, I don't fuck with that. But
It's nuts.
also, I'm not a big proponent of the not hitting women. I'll knock a bitch out if she's over here. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll give him a big shove, but I don't think I could. I couldn't do it.
yeah, I definitely wouldn't in real life. That is a good fucking like. That is funny though. Like, imagine just like this woman like trying to fucking be tough
Oh,
shit
yeah,
to
just-
a big guy
just
and like
straight-
slap him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, you involved force, and then he fucking.
I
Oh, dude, that reminds me of that video. Have you ever seen that? It's like a video of these people on a subway, and this lady's like being loud as fuck, and then I can't remember exactly what happens. The title of the video is "Man Slaps Soul Out of Woman,"
oh yeah.
and she's like talking all this shit, and he goes, "You nasty bitch." And she goes, "What'd you call me?" And she slaps him. And while he's like walking away, she like runs up and like slaps him really
doesn't
hard.
he like just whip around?
He
and-
turns around real slow, looks at her, pulls his hand up to the sky, and then like his hand's a fucking whip, bro. He just cracks the bitch on the face, and it's so loud. And I'm
I don't like. Well, here's the thing. I don't like punching anyone. Like anytime I watch a video and I was like, okay, like even if it's two dudes, if I just see somebody sucker punch somebody, it's like, okay, you're an asshole.
oh, a sucker punch, yeah,
Yeah.
it's never warranted.
But like in moments like that, like I don't want to say she was asking for it, but like
But I mean, like, if we are all adults and we are supposed to be on equal footing, like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
say, you know, and she's inciting violence and he's quote unquote defending himself, like she did strike first.
she could absolutely press charges, and I'll be like, yeah, absolutely, you can. But then if there was two dudes there, I'd be like, yeah, you're being a bitch. You should have
fucked
gotten
it up.
slapped the
Yeah,
shit out of you.
but that's so tough, man. Because there is that like whole movement of like, oh, well, we're equals and everything should be. And then you're like, oh, this man who could lift 300 pounds versus this woman who could lift 50 pounds.
Mhm.
Yeah, it makes total sense why her slapping him is a different fucking thing
Yeah.
than him slapping her. But it is a funny video.
It's very funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
Dude, have you ever watched those fucking slapping videos?
Oh, like the slap fight championships,
yeah.
bro? Yes,
They're
dude.
insane.
Of these fucking just Russian dudes. I mean, you gotta be getting fucking brain damage at some point. Those
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
I
They're
would.
slapped unconscious. Yeah.
I think I think I would partake once, and then I'd be like, "Oh, that was stupid," you know, because
Yeah, yeah.
I'd let too much of the male bravado get to
Uh-huh.
me.
Well, it's like, yeah, I could take a fucking slap.
Well, and I think I could. I definitely could take a slap.
Uh-huh.
And then it'd be fun to, give one out.
Mhm.
But then when you're like, I'm taking 20, 30 slaps, I'm like, bro, there's no
Dude,
there's no artistry here. There's no like, fucking martial art. You're not dodging and there's no way to get out of the damage
You are
that
just
will be
taking
caused.
The only thing you could possibly do is maybe crank your neck on impact and maybe lighten it up. But
But you're not allowed.
no, I mean, like, yeah, you're not allowed to flinch, but as soon as it hits, kind of tilt and you'll kind of slip off.
See, I
they,
think
they might follow you,
yeah,
but you
you're
could get away with
you're
it.
not allowed to flinch. But okay, I see what you're saying. Like
Like, as soon as it hits, you're just like, wow.
let yourself be loose and
Yeah.
go with the actual blow.
Because
yeah.
a lot of those guys tense up, and those guys usually end up asleep.
They do. Yeah, they flex super hard and then
And I
they
was
get
like, no, no.
slapped. And I'm like, bro, you're making that hit way hard.
You're
And
about to-
some guys like move into it too. I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't understand physics.
yeah, it's, and I think I got too big of a chin. I think it would just crank my neck too hard. and
Having a-
fucking
Big chin actually works in your favor most of the time.
really, because I think about it like when you're getting punched.
Yeah.
I got a big button. Like it's just
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's a bigger button. I think your chin is bigger, but I don't think the button's any bigger. Like you do have to hit them perfectly, like right on this, like
Uh-huh.
right where the jaw connects to your fucking head.
yeah.
You punch them right there, and you get it just right. Your fucking
Well, the thing that
legs turn to jelly.
Well, the thing that knocks you out is the neck crank.
Is it?
Mhm.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
Because I'm pretty.
Because if you hit them perfectly, that neck's gonna crank and your brain's gonna get shaken, and it's gonna be like, oh, we're done. We're turning everything off.
I've definitely seen fights in the UFC where the neck doesn't crank. They just get a really good like pop. They just pop them right in the button, and then it's just hitting that spot for some reason, and it just drops their legs. Like their
Maybe.
legs turn out.
Everything I've heard, it's been when your neck goes too far. That's why I've seen like fucking weird neck like exercises
I'm sure.
to strengthen it up.
I'm sure your neck definitely has something to do with it, but I don't know.
It's just your nervous system is all neck. So if you can get rid of that, get rid of that.
Speaking of hitting women, why is Chris Brown still popular?
I hate him. I hate him with every fiber of my being.
Literally on Spotify right now, I have my Spotify window open. Spotify is promoting a song with Chris Brown in it.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like his music after hitting a woman is so gross, and he's talking about how big of a pimp he is, and he's talking to him, like he came out with a song called these hoes ain't loyal, and I was like, dude, you hit a girl, you're not allowed to call
Bro,
me.
he did more than hit a girl. He like slammed her fucking head
He
against the
beat
car.
the shit out of Rihanna.
Have you ever read that like police report?
I've
It's-
only seen the pictures.
It's fucking
yeah,
damning, bro.
they're insane.
She does something to. Oh, I think he says that fucking she was like grabbing his nuts or something, like super aggressively and like hard to hurt him. And then I'm like, oh, so you try to turn her brain inside out? Like,
if someone's doing that, like I said, a quick shove, show dominance, move on.
I think he like punched her multiple times, like grabbed her head like by her hair, and like slammed it into parts of the vehicle. It's like, oh my god.
And they were on songs featuring each other like a month later.
So fucking ridiculous. And I watched this video, I think Gus Johnson made it, where he like goes into why he thinks he should not be doing shit, because he's like, what's up with cancel culture if people who are actually doing evil things still have a prominent career? Like, people are getting shut down for making a bad, like Dan Harmon, the guy who helped make
Rick and Morty, Harmontown.
yeah, Rick and Morty. He got quote unquote canceled. He still has a career. But he tried to get canceled by a bunch of people because he like made a fucking YouTube, or he made like a video in like 2004 or some shit like that, where he's playing this character who's like out of his fucking mind, and as like very much shock humor, he grabs a fucking like a doll that's a baby, and then he pretends to fuck it. He has all his clothes on. It's a doll. And then they were like, yeah, this isn't okay. But Chris Brown.
That's the same shit that happened to fucking the guy who did Guardians. Like, they tried to cancel him.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
it's
mean,
like,
it worked for like a year.
yeah.
Then he came back.
Obviously, he should have come back. Because it gets to the point where it's like, that's just jokes.
Yeah.
That's just shock humor.
If we're not.
He actually committed a crime.
Dude, no. But in that video, he talks about that a little bit. And then he goes into like, Chris Brown actually almost killed a woman.
Yeah.
And then as his career has gone on and he's still successful, like almost every year he goes to jail because of an assault where he beats the shit out of somebody. It's like, when are we gonna fucking...
The point of cancel culture, if there is a point, is for people to learn their fucking lesson. He has not. And I'm sure the people who got canceled for making shocking, cringy videos, they've already learned their lesson about how that was bad.
Yeah, they watch it and they go, man,
this isn't funny.
That's the difference. That is the difference. In the name of comedy, you're gonna fuck up more than 98% of the time.
Yeah.
But 2% of the time, you're gonna find jokes that work, and in doing so, you're gonna move forward and you're gonna learn.
Like, for example, this podcast has not been funny.
No, not. We've talked about dead animals and Chris Brown.
Yeah, and
fuck Chris Brown, dog.
Yes,
He's so annoying.
If we could, and we can't. The fucking title of this video and our channel
should be fuck
Chris Brown. Fuck that guy.
Honestly, and then he's got like such die-hard supporters.
Yeah,
and most of them are women.
I don't understand Chris Brown stans. I don't get it. Like, I understand K-pop stans. I understand most stans. They're just pretty boys that dance good. They're completely harmless. But I don't care.
They're so like manufactured and shit. And they're like so, it's so destructive to the actual singers. And then and then there's like, I can't remember what the fuck it's called. It's like so deep. There are entire like Twitter pages dedicated to people in the audience just taking a clip of one member of the group dancing. What?
Here's the thing. I don't care. As long as it's not self-destructive for the fans, I could not care how much you're into something.
I don't care much either. It's just funny to me when they try to do the like so and so is over party. That's like their whole like hashtag. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Just because they said they didn't like K-pop.
My favorite thing was when everyone burned their Nikes because Kaepernick kneeled.
Or everybody throwing away their trusty Gillette razors when they came
Yeah,
out with their
I was like-
pandering.
I was like,
I've never been like, I remember watching that commercial and being like, yeah, this is really cringy, pandering garbage. And it is annoying.
uh-huh.
How are you so upset?
I just remember watching it and I was like, men have to do better. And I was like, welcome to the party. People have been saying this for years.
But
And
I mean,
it's true.
but even then, I mean, a lot of the shit that they were talking about in that, I was like, you are making a lot of generalizations, Gillette. But even then, they're pandering. They're so
Mhm.
obviously being like, we have this select group of people in politics that we want to make more
Oh, yeah,
sales
yeah.
from.
It's I've watched like Lindsay Ellis and the H Bomber guy. They both made videos about woke companies,
Uh-huh.
about how they're making commercials and advertisements and whole lines to. Yes, it's good for companies to say that, but like you know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's pandering. It's
They're-
so stupid.
They just found something that's like, well, if we do Black Lives Matter, do you think we'll sell more noodles?
Of
And it's
course.
like, no, ramen, you're not going to do it.
Well, it might.
It might, but it just made me laugh so hard because I remember the whole Kaepernick thing. I remember I called my dad because I was like, "Hey, he's military," and I was like, "How do you feel about this?" And I was kind of worried because he's kind of right wing, and he just goes, "Well, that's why I'm here, is so he could do that." And I
Yeah,
went,
exactly,
"What
bro.
a very self-aware fucking like."
Exactly, bro.
The people who are getting mad have never like they have a brother in the Marines, and I'm sure it's like my brother didn't fight for this, and I was like, I'm sure if I asked your brother, he'd be like, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
I don't care.
My dad, my mom, and my older brother have all served in the United States Army. Not a single one of them gave a fuck.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, he wasn't kneeling to
Exactly,
say
it
America's
had-
bad. You're missing the whole point of
It
why
had-
he's protesting.
Exactly. They like brought this whole like it had jack shit to do.
It gets to the point where some parts of the people who are making those arguments obviously just don't want to have the discussion about
Exactly,
race in this country, so
exactly.
they just decided to, oh, well, I don't want to talk about that. So let's make him wrong and make me right.
How are you arguing about two different things at the same time? It's so fucking dumb, but it's whatever. I mean, I feel like Colin Kaepernick did kind of ride that into like being like, well, I'm gonna be a martyr for this cause and just trying to make himself an icon because he was done with football.
Well,
I don't think he was.
from everything I heard, he didn't talk to any of his teammates. He didn't talk to any of his family before he did it. And I'm sure it probably did help his career, but I don't think there was anything malicious in what he was doing.
Oh yeah, I don't think malicious, but I think it was.
I didn't.
I think to some extent, I think he did really agree with the message he was trying to put out, and he was like, "I'm going to do this for this reason." But I think that was like 75% of it, maybe like 25% was like, "I'm going to put on a stunt because I'm kind of done with football, and I would like to make some sales elsewhere, or like I would like to make a name outside of
I don't
football."
think you went out with the intention of something like that. I mean, maybe probably something came in, but I don't think you.
I mean, that's definitely what happened.
Yeah.
There were like a fucking ton of people buying Kaepernick jerseys to then burn Kaepernick jerseys. Bro, if I'm selling a product, put it in your asshole. I don't give a shit. You already bought it. That money's mine, dipshit.
Yeah.
I don't. It's so fucking funny.
Do you think Jesus was just good at sleight of hand and everything got out of hand?
Yeah, bro. You think he was the first motherfucker? I
Not
don't
to
know.
do a
That
quick talk. It's just been on
was
my
gonna
mind.
be a bad fucking.
Do you think like Jesus just did one card trick and everyone's like, we'll write a book about
Bro,
it?
and he had like a bunch of people in on it, just like some buddies. Like his disciples were just his homies.
Yeah.
And they were all just prophesying about how everything he did was real. And so like, fucking truth in numbers, so it's like
he just had a slice of bread up his sleeve. That's how he multiplied them.
yeah,
Just
he
quick flourish.
he figured out a way to make it so that you didn't
Yeah.
look when he switched out the glasses from
Yeah.
water to wine, and you're like, oh.
Oh my god! Like
He's spit in one of his friend's eyes, and they're like, I can see. And the motherfucker can see the whole time.
I'm sure Jesus was a cool dude. He was a great dude.
Oh yeah, obviously.
But he just knew the disappearing thumb trick, and things just got out of hand.
He's come back to life. He
Oh,
put his thumb back on.
It's like, guys, I was on vacation. I was just not Like that's the thing. I wasn't
he's
dead.
like,
I was
"Bro."
just wasn't around you, and you guys apparently don't have object permanence.
I was going to see what the fuck was happening in India. They got some
Yeah.
cool shit going on
Yeah.
over
It's really fucking.
there. every prophet who's done miracles just been a magician of some sort.
Just imagining Jesus is just a normal dude, but everyone else is just crazed. Fucking.
I'd let
They just see one miracle and they lose their
It'd be
shit.
fucking amazing if Penn and Teller went back in time, and they were just like, oh, like they fucking.
There's a silent medicine man off in the hills.
Yeah, exactly. And he has a giant. Bro, fucking, he would be back then.
Yeah.
Everybody was like 4'10",
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, everyone was short because their diets were fucked.
Yeah, dude. And fucking, which one isn't Penn Gillette? Yeah, he's the tall one.
Yeah,
Motherfucker,
Penn's-
like 6'6", dude.
I remember it was so because it wasn't until they started not being magicians and they were starting doing like
The shows and
shows
stuff.
and stuff that like Teller actually started talking. I couldn't like I was thinking about it. Like two examples. Teller didn't talk for like 30 years.
Yeah.
The Undertaker, he didn't do interviews
Yeah, dude. Until
for
he
30 years.
until he retired. That's
Like-
some dedication,
And
bro.
I remember they interviewed him and they were like, "Why did you do that?" And I was like, "Well, the people obviously didn't think I was dead, but just like that, he just thought that kind of suspicion adds to the whole mystique of
yeah,
everything."
he was 100% into
Yeah.
being the character.
And I was like,
publicly.
I could not, like, I can barely stick with a job for more than like 5 years.
I mean, to be one of the fucking best though, like you have
Yeah.
to put your soul into it.
And I've just been watching it because he did a Joe Rogan thing,
Yeah.
and it's super fucking interesting.
He's super cool, dude.
Yeah, he's
and then
a super chill guy.
they're talking about a bunch of like old shit that happened. And he was like, yeah, this was awesome. And while they're talking about it, I'm like, man, fuck, that does sound awesome. I like went back and watched a couple, and like apparently like I didn't even know Kane very much. I just like
Mhm.
barely knew who's a wrestler.
Yeah.
And like the whole legacy of them like adding him in as supposed to be like a brother to Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I like watched like one of the, because he was supposed to be like this, like he like never won a belt, or maybe he won it once or something. Kane did.
Yeah.
And then but he was like this like weird badass that would just like come in sometimes and save Undertaker.
Yeah.
And it was just like a like
Yeah.
whenever his
Dude,
music played.
His introduction was during Hell in a Cell, the big box thing. He showed up and everyone's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" Like the whole arena's in red light. It's just him marching.
It's so
he
fucking cool.
tears the cell door off.
Oh yeah, I
he
watched
just
that
tears it
video.
off and then he just fucks up Undertaker and leaves.
That's so fucking cool.
That's how you bring in like
Oh yeah, and that's what led me
Yep.
to go back and watch it, because he was talking about that in the interview, and he was like, "Yeah, and I'm supposed to put on this character like of a brother that like I haven't seen in forever, so I'm like scared but yet like confused at the same
Mhm.
time." And then he beats my ass, and I'm like,
Yeah. It's like wrestling, and anyone who's like wrestling is fake. Yeah, so is most TV.
"Fucking duh."
Yeah, it's that's why when you watch it as a television show, that's when you can get interested in it. And when you watch a show and you're like, "That's a good character,"
Yeah,
introduction,"
exactly.
Could you imagine a motherfucker
It's
coming
so
in,
cool.
tears off a door, and then just just
Yeah, bro.
tombstones the shit out
Yeah,
of
his
brother.
whole thing was that he would like pick you up by the neck with one hand, and obviously
Oh, dude,
the wrestlers
choke
are
slam is
yeah,
so
they're
cool.
they're all fucking jumping, but it's still
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool because he's like, I think other people did choke slams, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But his whole thing, well, because he's a tall motherfucker, and
Mhm.
all the WWE guys are jacked.
Mhm.
His
Well-
thing was that he choke slammed you from the fucking
Yeah.
sky, bro.
There was a long run where Undertaker rode a bike.
Excuse me.
That was his whole thing. He was a biker, but they still call him the Undertaker. I was like,
Okay.
it was just a character change.
It was because of fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin was like, yeah, I'm gonna get the blue collar fans.
Yeah.
Because that's who he fucking was. He was
Yeah.
like, I'm a redneck. And
But-
so yeah, you fucking catch a beer, and then everybody's like, oh, he became the most popular instantly.
Dude, I love. Anyway, one of his moves during that whole run was the last ride where he takes you in a power bomb. He's already 6'10", so you're just you're 6 feet in the air, and then he would pick you up, like kind of do a little pickup. So then you were like 8 feet in the air, and then he would just slant. And it looks you're taking a lot of impact because like there's no way you can cushion that, but he's trying to be soft or whatever. But it looks so deadly.
What's he dropping you on his knee?
No,
On
he's
the
just
ground?
dropping you on the ground.
Oh,
just
yeah, it's
dropping
like-
on the mat.
It's like a little trampoline mat though, son.
I don't know, man. They're so thin.
Well, they're designed to have give to them.
Yeah. And yes, all that, but still.
Shit would still sting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to
I'm
get.
just saying, wrestling's all about making the moves look. Sure, they'll hurt, but they're not supposed to fucking incapacitate you.
You
like
gotta
they're-
make them safe, but look
Yeah.
bad.
So a dude lifting you 8 feet in the air and just slamming you. It looks so cool. It's so awesome.
And then he like, and the best part
Is
was
this
that
the podcast we find out where I'm kind of
we're into
a
the
crazy I'm kind of a crazy wrestling guy.
see, I'm not even. I watched it when I was a kid, and I
Mhm.
like didn't give a shit past the age of like 11.
I've
But I
got,
still think it's fucking cool, man. Like you're just a bunch of acrobats
yeah.
pretending to fuck each other
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Like
and I kind of lost it because my dad forced me to. It's like, this is fake, and I was like, okay. And
sweet, dude.
yeah, but I've gotten back into it now because I started watching stuff that wasn't WWE because they're they get kind of crazy with it, and it's like lame, and
Yeah.
it's like, why is there a marriage storyline? And
A little too campy.
I remember I started watching Japanese stuff. They're insane. There's no like weird. All of their characters are, we're good at wrestling and we're gonna fuck you up, and then they build stories in the ring without any words
About it being like tournaments and shit.
Yeah,
That's cool.
like they'll do a match where the whole story is that wrestler's knee over there is fucked. Let's see if he can win.
Okay.
And they straight up. It's called strong style. They'll absolutely just knee you in the head. They absolutely just kick each other and beat the shit out of each
Bro,
other.
There's something
And it's
about
for like an hour.
like, I don't want to make a generalization, but there's something about Asian media where they really don't care about the well-being of a lot of their fucking
Mhm.
actors. Like if you, I think I was watching this YouTube video that's like, it was about like stuntmen reacting to like big stunts in movies and stuff. And there's like professional guy who's done like 50 plus movies or
Mhm.
whatever. And then they bring in a
Western
couple,
guy.
yeah, and then they talk about like a few, of course, like Ip Man or things like that, where it's a lot of stuff like that. And then they
Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee's, all the.
and so I think he's talking about Ip Man, and there's this like one scene when by the way, if you're hearing that, that's Shane's shaker bottle.
I'm so sorry.
These microphones are pretty good. Yeah, I think they can pick that up. But okay, so we're talking about Ip Man, and there's this one scene where I think everybody fucking knows about it, where he like fights 10 black belts supposedly, right?
Yeah.
And in that scene, like they do slow motion and close ups of these dudes getting hit, and then I think the producer, somebody asks him, like, "Oh, are they like faking that?" Or he's like, "No, they're getting hit." Like,
I was watching shit for the Rocky movies. It was Sylvester Stallone. It was the fourth one. It was
okay,
Dolph Lundgren and Sylvester Stallone, and they were watching the fight, and they started like, they do those quick zoom ins where they get punched, and they both go, I was like, yeah, I hated doing those, and that's when I realized, holy shit, they punched each other for real.
and it wasn't even like a stuntman punching him; it
No.
was each other.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Dolph, go ahead and fuck him up.
Yeah. And apparently it's been a tradition throughout all the Rockies to get punched, and then in Creed, fucking
Bro.
Michael B. Jordan, he gets knocked out. That part where he gets knocked out,
Oh yeah.
that happened for real.
And that was because oh wait, he was like doing this like weird shit where he was like trying to get in the character and he's like warming up, and so he's like swinging his body left to right with his head,
Mhm.
and then when he comes back to the guy, he's supposed to be like coming toward it and then taking the punch, and then like just
Oh,
his
really?
head goes back.
Every
But-
interview I've watched, he's just straight up says like, yeah, on that cut they just punched me for real.
Yeah,
And the
he
boxer was
does.
giving him like 30%.
Yeah, he's a real fucking boxer.
yeah,
the guy
yeah.
punching him, and so he knows how to like throw a good punch. Like uses his shoulder and
Yeah,
he
and
fucking
he makes
and
it look good.
and he hits him on the button, and it's just the momentum of him swinging his head to the side into the punch, and the guy just throwing a very well
Yeah.
like fucking
placed punch.
technique,
Yeah.
placed punch, and he just bing,
God, and it's
knocked his
crazy.
lights
Like
out.
it's just crazy with shit like that where they're like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine, because I'm sure being in the crowd and going back to wrestling, being in the crowd and being loved and being cheered and all that probably gets you through a lot of that shit. But I couldn't imagine a half an hour match where I'm getting thrown through tables and I'm getting slammed by people twice my
Bro,
size.
shit
and-
would su- I mean, they are juicing, so like their bodies recover quicker. I mean, like I know a lot of them. Like, I never did steroids. It was like you did steroids.
It's better now, definitely. There's not a lot, but yeah, back in the 80s with the
Bro,
Hulk
yeah, they
Hogan's
were
and
fucking
the Ultimate,
juicing.
yeah,
But so
they're
their
crazy
bodies
people.
recover faster,
Mhm.
and that's what steroids do. But then also like you're fucking coated in
Mhm.
fucking muscle, bro, like so
Yeah.
much. So thinking
One of these days, I got to show you my favorite wrestler is a dude named Mick Foley. He's just this big Santa Claus. He does not look like a wrestler.
okay,
He's just this big Santa Claus guy. And there's this match he has with the Undertaker where he gets thrown from the cell, and it's 16 feet high, and he falls into a table, and when they call off the match, he fights off all the referees and the medics, and then climbs back up it, and then gets choke slammed. But the fucking ceiling breaks, and he falls another 16 feet. A chair hits him in the face, and his tooth goes through his lip into his nose. And then that's not how the match ends. He finishes it. He gets slammed into tacks. And he fucking still, like, it's insane.
Bro, that's some dedication. Like,
Apparently, because I've seen him do interviews, and the only thing he remembers is when the Undertaker comes up and is like, let's go home, which means let's finish this. You've done enough. And he just goes, we got to make it to the tacks. Could you imagine being so determined that your subconsciousness is like, well, I can't send him home without the
God,
tacks.
Jesus Christ, bro.
It's insane.
There's some people where pain is, I think, just as bad. They just don't register it in memory. Like,
yeah, pain is like a motivator for some people.
yeah, it's so bad. Like, there's this
It's
one,
insane.
I can't remember his name, but there's this dude on YouTube where his whole thing is like, oh shit, I can't remember exactly what he says, but he's got this like monologue he says before doing anything.
It's just the guy jumps onto like dishwashers. And
Yes,
shit? Yeah.
yes, dude. He goes like, "This from my gigolos and gigolettes."
Yeah.
And he goes, woo woo, and then he fucking jumps. And the best one is it's like he's like elbow slamming a microwave part 2.
Yeah.
He does it, and this dude fucking commits, bro.
Yeah.
He dead ass will go. Oh, but the best part is, I forgot the best part. He pulls his shirt off every time. He's like this fucking chunky little goblin body little bitch.
Yeah.
Got little floppy titties and shit, but he goes like he's a fucking dog or something. And then he goes, whoa, whoa, and he jumps like full commit. Like his feet are above his head for this elbow slam. And he fucking hits his elbow in the microwave. And yeah, he fucking dents the microwave in, but his body fucking ragdoll bounces off of that shit. And then he's just like, like he's so fucked up. And I'm like, dude. But he's got like 50 videos like that. Him just jumping onto shit.
Dude, it's so, every so often I go down a rabbit hole on YouTube. Like there's this dude, his whole thing is he just chugs.
I think I know who you're talking about, yeah.
He just has this like 40-ounce boot. He just chugs shit.
You're talking about Shoe Nice right now?
No, but that is another
Shoe
guy.
Nice is basically that.
Yeah, Shoe Nice. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, he does way more than just chug.
That is a man whose life has fallen apart and his only solace is doing weird shit on the internet.
I think he's gotten better.
I think he's gotten away from the internet and he's been doing better.
Well, I don't think he's away from it.
All I know is when he was eating soap, his marriage was falling apart.
Yes, and I know him because H3H3, like, he's been like a part of their saga the whole time. And so they keep in contact with him. And so like on one of the podcasts, he's like, yeah, I've been sober for a while. And apparently he makes a living off of Cameo.
Oh, really?
So many people are like, bro, I'm going to get fucking Cameo to tell my friend.
Yeah,
that
he
he's
just
like,
seems like a nice dude, but that's the best part about it. Like, he just seems like a normal dude. And then out of nowhere,
I don't think he's normal. I think he's got some mental trauma, bro.
He just, how the persona he puts out, he's very well spoken and he's very
he's
quiet.
So fucking funny though. Like,
and
he
then
comes
out of nowhere, he's just like, because you'd be talking, I was like, hey everybody, you're doing pretty good today. And now I'm going to eat 3 bars of soap. It's like, what?
So disgusting.
What the fuck?
Bro, the ones where he opens his gullet and he chugs like a fucking liter of vodka or something like that, because he does those.
The Everclear video,
bro,
insane.
Immediately after he's done, you can see the damage that poison is currently doing inside of his body. It's like, oh my god.
Because I remember I watched the Everclear video, and at the time I had
Everclear.
And I've drank it, and it would, dude. My buddy made a drink one time. It was a Jaeger bomb, except instead of, it was a big glass that he made me, and it was 1 part's Everclear, 1 part's Jaeger, and then an entire Red Bull.
Yeah.
And I drank 2 of those, and it took me about a week to recover.
That's disgusting.
So watching him just pound a whole bottle, I went, no.
That's so fucking foul, dude.
Like, he's gonna vomit for like 2 hours straight, and then he's gonna be in a coma.
Yeah, bro.
For another
he
week.
should go to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's only the fact that he was a vehement alcoholic that he was able to survive.
Like, oh my god.
But
most people don't come back from that shit.
Bro, but these fucking people, man, they get
dude,
like,
LA Beast.
Oh, I don't know. Wait, I might know this name. What did he do?
He did the thing I've seen him do lately is he did the Guinness Book of World Record of walking on Legos.
Why?
And the way he set it up was he had like a 6-foot track full with Legos, and he just walked back and forth for 3 hours.
I feel like your feet would legitimately bleed.
Yeah, they showed. Ooh, yeah, he probably. Well, one of the number one rules on YouTube is don't show feet, but he showed feet, and they were fucked up.
So stupid, bro. That's so not worth it.
No,
I mean, I guess he's probably. I mean,
but he's that kind of YouTuber.
the video probably got millions of views,
Yeah.
and he probably made a fucking bank. So,
Yeah, but like,
also, when does Guinness draw the line? When can you just make some shit up that's so outlandish that they're like, no, we're not fucking doing that.
that's the point.
Like, man who can ejaculate the fastest. Like,
Okay.
like man with the fewest pumps to ejaculation. Like actually, like, oh, I just pumped twice and I come. Like, is that too much for the Guinness Book World Records?
I mean, I don't want to know who has that record, so I think they would draw the like. I think because it's still an entertainment brand at this point,
bro,
so
they've got the wildest shit. Like
Yeah.
fucking eggs cracked consecutively with your head.
yeah.
Like fucking coconuts busted with your hand.
Uh-huh.
Probably like walking a distance on one foot. You know, like
yeah.
they got the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
But then they got like legitimately interesting ones, like fucking highest height. Like done a dive into the like a fucking kiddie pool from the highest height. I think was one of them. I remember
Oh,
when I was a
highest
kid.
belly flop.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, when does? I mean, obviously you get the weird ones like the fingernails and the tattoos and
Oldest stripper.
ugh,
Mhm.
that's not okay.
Well, here's two things about it.
There has to be an age limit.
Well, the thing is, like, one, I don't want to say it, and two, I wouldn't want to be in that kind of lifestyle for that long.
Oh, for her?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely fucking not.
Because like being a stripper, they do God's work and they're doing great work. Don't ever shame yourself.
Are you telling
But it
me?
also sucks.
Are you telling me that they're getting like she's getting good tips? Either there needs to be an age cutoff for
Probably.
female strippers. Like
I mean, yeah, definitely clubs do that.
I understand that you can be looking good at 40.
Yeah, definitely.
If you really push it, you can be looking good at 50, maybe, and we're pushing it.
Yeah,
60.
55.
I'm talk-
55 is maybe.
And I'm not saying like looking good, like you're facially attractive and like you can be in a good relationship. I'm talking about like bodily attractive, so that just
Yeah.
dumb monkey-brained men can just
Yeah.
go in and be like,
I'm gonna jerk off when I leave.
if you're like 70, 80,
Yeah, I don't know.
you've gone too far. Like your
Yeah.
body does not have the skin elasticity to even
Yeah.
just.
And also the things you have to do to make sure you do look physically attractive up till that age is going to kill you. You know what I mean?
I don't.
Based on this, like, I'm not even talking like surgeries or something, but like the weird cleanses and weird like you gotta work like 6 hours a week. 6 hours a week. 6 hours a day just to
Yeah.
keep everything.
Yeah, 6 hours a week is pretty doable.
Yeah, 6 hours a week is what most people do on accident. Well, I mean,
I'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I think.
yeah,
when
I
I found-
forgot how
Bro,
unhealthy everyone
I
is.
found out the statistic that the average male American cannot do a push-up. And then I was googling it because I was like, oh shit, dude, is my bench press still good? Because after COVID, I hadn't gone to the gym in like 5 months, and I was like, bro, my bench probably sucks now.
Mhm.
I went and I tried it. I dropped from 290 to like 215 on my bench.
Mhm.
I was upset.
That's a lot of weight. Though.
But then I looked it up and I was like, oh, bro,
You can do a push-up.
I feel pretty okay about this
Yeah.
now. Because I literally Googled, like, what is the average bench press on a man? Because I wanted to be like, it needs to be at least 100. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but yeah, I felt pretty good. I was like, okay, cool. I can do a push up.
It's not. The thing with that kind of stuff is like, you can get there. It's not hard to get there.
So, I mean, yeah, it really.
If you're starting from zero, yeah,
So-
you're gonna have to do a lot of sets on your knees, but you will get there.
and probably
It's
not,
not
even
hard.
probably not even your knees, bro. It really is just find the lowest minimum thing that you can complete
Mhm.
and make it easy enough that you can do it, and it's not like you're fucking killing yourself every time. And then just keep doing it.
dude, if you see someone do something that you want to do, like even exercise, you'd be like, oh well, that guy can do let's say that guy can do a push up on one arm. Do you know how many progressions you can do until you get there?
No.
It's so, and it's going to take a bit, but it's so easy to just get set on a path. and
Shane,
then
you are so ableist. What if he has no arms?
that's going to be even more
You
impressive.
Fucking cunt. Hashtag Shane is over party. Fuck you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
My dad has like one little arm that comes out of his shoulder,
Uh-huh.
and it's just a hand at the end of like a little stick. He can't do a one arm push up. He doesn't have a joint in his arm. Fuck you.
Okay.
My friend's cousin's dad's brother
Uh-huh.
has normal arms, and he's just really weak. Fuck you. It's so ableist. He was born not able to do a push up. Fuck you, Shane.
I know you're trying to bounce the ball back to me and I can just end this bit, but I got
How
nothing.
fucking dare you? I'll keep going.
I just feel attacked, yeah. Like, dude, I saw a video of this guy.
Shane, my fucking
There's this dude I saw a video of. He was born without legs. He's a state wrestling champ.
bro, Shane, my fucking dad is only able to do push-ups. He doesn't have any fucking legs. You ableist.
Here's the thing.
He would love to be a fat, nasty, pudgy bitch who's not able to do a push-up, but he can't.
He's at a constant handstand. His delts are incredible.
When he wakes up and walks to the toilet, he's doing a handstand. Fuck you, Shane.
Dude, those videos are so cool
Also,
to
is it
watch.
considered a handstand if you're not upside down? If you literally have no legs and so your hands just
Yeah.
being put underneath you?
Yeah, it's the same muscles.
But is it considered a handstand?
Yeah.
You're not using like any of your core.
You're
just,
using your hands to stand.
yeah, but I guess when you say handstand, everybody just assumes you're upside down.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, it would be kind of fucking cool to be able to just walk to the toilet on my hands.
Uh-huh.
You'd have fucked up wrists, but it'd be kind of cool.
Mhm.
I should lose some weight.
I don't know what happened. I think my back's all fucked. But I used to be able to walk pretty good on my hands. But now, like, as soon as I go up, my back's like, no, go back to the feet. Go back. I hate this. I think I just got to work on my curve because I do remember my hips would be behind my shoulders,
That's good.
and that'll really fuck you up. And it's hard. It's probably because my core was shit. But
Yeah.
you gotta have a perfect.
Gotta work on that core strength, BB.
Yeah.
All about core strength in your ass.
And I do.
Yeah, your like glutes
Oh, okay.
goes up to your lower back.
It was just a weird sentence, and I didn't.
All about your core and your ass.
Why do you keep saying ass like that?
That's how I said it before, and I just needed
Oh,
to
okay.
repeat it,
I was
you know
like,
what
your body will literally not let you say ass in any other way.
It's just how you say it, Shane. I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why you're being all weird.
Phonetically, that's how Americans say
Yeah,
ass.
there's 4 A's and a couple more S's than you think. Ass.
All right, what the fuck were you gonna say?
I don't fucking know,
God
dude.
damn it.
Uh,
You fucking ableist. Shane. Most people can't even remember anything, and you're out here not able to.
have you just to test to see what kind of podcast this is going to be since we're on technically the second one. Have you seen WandaVision?
No.
Okay, cool. So we're not going to be the kind of
Sweet.
Yeah, no. I was thinking about it. It's like, are we going to be the kind of podcast that talks about current events? No.
Yeah.
I don't.
I
give a shit.
saw the fucking commercials. And I was like, neat.
I
In my brain, I can already just like run the course of events that show's probably gonna take. It's gonna be like, oh, you're dead. I can make fake worlds.
yeah.
That's the whole plot.
I'm more interested because I'm a fucking. I don't know if it's FOMO, but I am a weird like. Well, I got to collect all the knowledge of this thing because I'm a real weird lore guy.
Marvel's kind of has just created that for themselves, though. Like,
Mhm.
it's almost like this world where you don't need to know everything, but they make you want to know everything
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like be able to watch every movie and show.
But
and
I get to
stuff.
the point where like, I don't want to spend money on Disney Plus just to watch one show.
Yeah, I recently got Disney Plus, and I only paid for it for a month because that movie Soul came out.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And like, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, dude, I would definitely go see this in theaters, pay for a
Mhm.
ticket from me and my girlfriend. All of that together would be like fucking $25.
Mhm.
Fucking Disney Plus was like $6.99.
And did they not give you that first month free?
No.
Oh,
But I mean, it was like $6.99, and I was like,
Yeah.
bro, I'd fucking pay for a movie like this. It's easy.
Yeah, if I had a definitely like that. I mean, I've fucking gotten YouTube Red just to watch a thing, and it's like, oh, a month free, fine. whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I want to bring up this show, but I haven't seen it, and I assume Ryan hasn't seen it, and we're just gonna that's just gonna set a mark in our podcast of how if something like
Does
current is
happen
happening,
currently?
we're not gonna talk about
Yeah,
it.
it'll come up. We'll be like, "Hey, did you hear about this?" I'll be like,
No.
"Not really."
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't even think we touched on the fucking Capitol riot in our last podcast.
I mean, yeah.
We talked about it because
The only thing I want to talk about is how absurd it was that they were all nonchalant about it.
yeah,
Like, how the fuck are you
they
gonna
were walking through those halls like it was their home.
Bro, somebody you were with just got shot, dead. You are walking through these hallways with a fucking, I think he had like a moose cap on,
Yeah.
no shirt, and you're sitting in Nancy Pelosi's office.
Yeah.
Like nothing bad will come to
Yeah.
you.
I just remember, like, we didn't talk about the podcast at all because we were too busy trashing our parents. But I remember because me and Ryan, little behind the scenes thing, we're friends, and we like hang out sometimes. Well, we don't hang out. We have Discord, so we don't really need to.
Yeah.
But we were talking about it the other day. We had like a pretty good conversation about it, and I realized like we didn't touch on this really pivotal part of our.
That's going to be
history.
in the history books,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like deadass, if the world
Dude, the
survives
Capitol riots. Yeah,
if it survives for another 100 years, you'd be like, yeah, the White House burned down. Some people stormed it one time. It's crazy.
dude. I mean, it's not going to be a chapter in a history book, but it's going to be a paragraph.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like this happened. It was
Yeah.
significant. Yeah. Oh yeah, the president who got impeached twice, incited
Incited
a
a
riot,
riot.
inside of the White House.
Yeah,
That's some crazy shit, bro.
Yeah. dude.
And it was all happening while there was a
I-
pandemic.
I would love if history books just forgot about Trump, but so much shit happened that was so pivotal. Like he can't.
I
He
definitely,
just can't.
I definitely do think that this is one of those moments that's gonna be like in our lives when we're like 70. We'll be like, I remember
Yeah,
when the fucking.
it's like I'm gonna get older, and my great grandkids are gonna be like, "Did you vote for Trump?" And I was like, "Fuck that guy.
Yeah. I'd be like, no.
Fuck him."
I remember when the great Cheeto Puff took
Yeah.
office, and
I remember.
he told everybody, "You're fired."
I remember when they started building that wall. It's still just a couple fence posts. Like, like that's all he got. Dude, he got, I want to say there was like 15 feet of wall he actually was able to put together.
I think it was way too much, but
yeah, like,
it's about as useful as
Yeah.
15 feet of wall. I think because there's that like
Dude,
Penn and Teller. What is it called? Bullshit was the name of the show or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, they literally did an episode that was like, dude, fucking barriers to keep people out of a country are the most useless thing in the world. They went, I think, to California. And yeah, you can. There's a lot of places where you can illegally pay people to work for you. So they
Yeah.
went and they got those Mexicans because that's all they are.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, all right, there's 6 of you. You two are gonna try to jump over this wall. This all the exact same built wall. That's literally like the U.S. government's like blueprint wall.
Mhm.
They're like, you two, you're gonna try to go over it. You two, you're gonna try to go through it. You two are gonna try to go under the wall. The ones who go through, you're all getting paid. The ones that actually get through the fastest are gonna get paid double. And so they're all like, oh, fuck, and they give them bolt cutters and a hammer,
yeah.
and they all got through. The slowest team did it in like 16 seconds.
And also, apparently, from what I know, they don't go they go through entry points. That's where most illegal. Like, that's, literally the only hole in the wall. Most people will go, "Yeah, we could probably get through that." Like they do it smart.
I mean, even then, bro,
And the only reason they're doing it is because fucking immigration is so strict to get in here.
a ton of
It takes like 2 years.
a ton of illegal immigration. I mean, it's a good process though. I feel like it actually is like it. You
We
have
can't
to.
even get translators who saved American soldiers in here without literally half their family.
I know, but still, it's like you have to make a harsh process to go through to make it in like because like everybody wants to come to fucking America, bro. Like you have to make a filter. There has to be a filter.
What was one of the rules we had right before we started recording?
Oh, no politics.
Does this count?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Because we have opposite views on this, and we can go back and forth, but we can do that after we talk about.
I think we should both just go. This is what I think. This is what you think.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. We should have more open borders.
Yes. And I will go. I like filters.
Alrighty.
Later.
Move past that.
Yes. Let's make a goofy now. What's a nice goofy we could make?
Hey.
Super Bowl's gay.
No. I have something.
Okay.
I don't care about space.
What?
Like, I was thinking about this. 2% of the ocean floor has been mapped. We have 1 million satellites.
You one of these cunts?
Okay. I watched an interview with David Attenborough, the guy who did all the narrations for all those nature flicks,
Okay.
and he said something that made me think. Because they asked him, was like, "Would you go into space if they paid you?" And he said, "Nah, it's too boring. I'd rather go to the Barrier Reef." And I go, "Yeah."
I mean, there's a lot more at the Barrier Reef
Yeah.
usually.
But like, I'm not saying fuck space. I can't. I just can't say that.
It's too much shit, bro.
Yeah, but also at the same time, like, there's a lot of shit here that we can do.
Yeah, big time. There's no fucking reason that this place should be unmapped
Yeah.
with the technology we have.
Yeah.
Every fucking square inch of this planet should be known.
Like, 'cause I had a conversation with my buddy. I was like, we spend so much money sending stuff into space, which is awesome. I want my internet to be better. But why aren't we sending money to go into water?
Because it doesn't make money.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what.
Also, we don't get to put a flag down there.
Yeah. And I was like, the only person who's done enough at those levels of water was James Cameron. The only reason he could do that
Fucking honestly.
because he spent $1 billion making blue people fly.
See,
Like,
but
that's it.
It's not as cool as being able to get an actual telescope, look up at the
Yeah.
moon, and actually see our bleached white flag that we put up.
Yeah, which is cool, but also at the same time, there's giant squids fighting whales.
Yeah, see,
That's dope as hell.
That's fucking terrifying though.
That's dope
Wait,
as shit.
I saw this fucking YouTube video where this guy was like I think he's on a surfboard, and this squid grabbed a hold of his surfboard. It's a big squid, and like the people who are recording it are like laughing. Like it was this lady who's like on this little boat, and she's like giggling because she's like, "Yeah, just push it off." And I'm like, he could die any moment now. Like
Yeah.
that dude
That's
just
some Cthulhu
if
shit.
he just snatches his leg, bro,
Yeah.
there's no fucking chance.
Yeah. And I remember in our lifetime, giant squids have gone from a myth to only found once on footage, and they found some corpses.
Yeah, the corpses were what's
Something-
fucking scary.
Something that big.
I don't think it was one of the big ones. It was just like a regular squid. And so, well, not a regular. It was pretty big. It was about the size of a person. But
Yeah.
the one you're talking about is like, yeah, fucking size of a whale. I don't fuck with that shit.
They're like 100 feet.
I don't
They're
fuck
nuts.
with that. Mm-mm.
And I think that's, I don't know. I think, and a lot of people are scared. I'm fucking terrified of the ocean.
I mean, rightly so. Like, you're always scared of the unknown. And then
Mhm.
you're also scared of a place where you are less competent.
Yeah, definitely.
I can swim fucking, 1.5 miles an hour?
Mhm.
A fucking shark can swim like 25? Like,
Okay, this is the part of the podcast where we talk about Shane's greatest fears, which is
which I don't get. I'm not afraid. Like, when I hear about numbers,
sharks and genuine feelings. Those are my two.
shut the fuck up. The only one that the only fear that I have that is genuine, that like if I got stuck, okay, it's if I get stuck. If I get, I don't know what the fuck it came from, but like if I get stuck,
Is it
somewhere-
like a claustrophobic thing?
no,
or-
I can be in a tight space and I'm fine.
Mhm.
If I am not able to wiggle my shoulders,
Mhm.
I will freak the fuck out.
Yeah,
I
makes
hear
sense.
about those stories of those guys who like go spelunking. Like there was this one where this guy was going spelunking and he got caught between two rocks.
Mhm.
And so they're like, he's yelling for help. So people like try to pull on his legs and shit. He's fucking stuck. Like they can't do
Yeah,
anything.
he only has like an hour and a half worth of air.
Well, no. He's got plenty of air. It's just that like they're like, if we pull any harder, we're going to rip you in two.
Yeah.
And so they legit left his ass there. They're like, we can try and pull you out at the risk of your own body, or we can leave you here and bring your family to say goodbye.
I think the reason I have such a fear of sharks was, it was my own dumbass fault. I just consumed an entire week worth of sharks. I think
Was
there's a
it
thing
called
for it.
Shark Week?
It may have been
May
called
have been
Shark.
Week.
I just nonstop, like for no shit, a week, just shark shit. And then at the end of the week, I went into a pool and went underwater, and then just every fact.
Pretended.
Yeah, and it fucked me up so hard that like, I remember anytime I go to a zoo with people, they're like, "Well, Shane, we got to go through the shark tunnel." I was like, "You guys can enjoy it. I'm walking right through that shit.
Jesus Christ.
I cannot deal with shark
See,
tunnels."
I'm like, so I'm just, but then when I hear the numbers about it, I'm like, okay, I don't really give a shit.
I and people tell me all the time, but my only argument is like, do you know what an irrational fear is? It's in the word.
See, but then when you hear the numbers, a lot of people will be like, well, you just got to hear the numbers. And then like deer kill a ton of fucking people.
Mhm.
You get kicked in the fucking head.
Mhm.
But then I was in Colorado with my sister and her sister, bro. Fuck, my girlfriend and her sisters.
We're editing that. I don't care who's doing it. We got to edit that.
What does that matter?
I don't know.
I said 2 words. The words were girlfriend and sister, and I got them mixed up. I almost said my sister's girlfriend, and I meant girlfriend's sister. I feel like that's a pretty common fuck up.
Okay. I'm just saying, you said your sister, and then immediately said, oh, my bad, my girlfriend.
Oh my god.
That's a bit. There's just some stuff there.
I don't think I care. If I need to, I will later. My girlfriend's sisters and I, along with my girlfriend, went on a trip to Colorado. And while we were there, we were like, I don't know, just walking on this road. And a deer with like 2 or 3 fawns right behind it was like right next to this barrier on a road. We didn't see it until we're like dead ass 3 feet away from this deer. And I'm like, we need to back the fuck up right now. It was looking me dead in the eyes. And I'm like, yeah, this thing is probably going to fuck us up if we get any closer. Like,
I don't know. I'm going to derail this with a story that I have.
okay.
Because it reminded me of Colorado. And I think it's funny. We'll see by the end. So my family has a tradition of getting a tree.
Okay.
Like a live tree.
A lot of people do that. I don't understand it, but okay.
It was nice in here in Nebraska because they have tree farms. But when we lived in Colorado, my dad had the idea of we would pull off on the road at the side of a forest and just wander right. Just literally, he would park the car. We'd hop the little metal fence thing. We're in the forest looking for a Christmas tree.
Really illegal.
Yeah. So usually, and we did this for years, and every year we'd have the same process. We'd go about 100 yards, and my mom would go, I'm done. Take my brother. She would go wait in the car. And we'd always have that dog Sierra that we talked about earlier. We would just release her into the wild. She would just be gone the whole time. And right as we get back to the car, my dad would whistle. She'd come running back. So dog's gone. Mother and
brother are gone.
Mother and brother are back in the car. It's just me and my dad. And my dad has that like weird dad pride. But like if you go to an amusement park, it's like, we are going to have fun. We are going to have a memory.
We're going to get the nicest
We are going to have a memory.
Yeah.
So my dad's just filled with that kind of anger / determination. And I'm just wandering behind like 7. And you know how
and
kids...
you're like, Dad, is this one good?
Yeah.
No.
And,
it's only 6 feet.
And you're packed like because your mother cares. So you have 15 layers on. So you're waddling
as
through.
you should be, bro. It's probably cold as fuck.
Yeah. So we find a tree and my dad cuts it down and it's like it's a fucking actual tree. So
did he bring a chainsaw or
no?
an
He
axe?
just had a saw. Because my dad is
like a fucking tree saw.
like
Bro, what the fuck? He didn't get a big tree, did he?
it was probably about 12, 13 feet.
Fucking excuse me, and he
Yeah.
sawed through it with a handsaw.
Yeah.
Bro, how long did that shit take?
About 20 minutes,
Bro,
25 minutes.
fuck that. Bro, have you ever had to try to handsaw
Yeah.
through some shit?
No, I do because the next years when I got old enough, my dad made me do it.
Way too much, bro.
Yeah.
Why not buy an axe for $20?
I don't know. Well, he'd have a hatchet and a handsaw, and he would make grooves with the hand axe and then go at it with the handsaw.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. So that's not even the dumbest part of the story. I'm the dumb one in the story.
Okay.
So he knocks it down and he takes a breather because obviously.
Because I've been sawing for 30 minutes.
And during the fucking 2-hour hike to this perfect tree, this perfect Griswold tree.
I'm gonna drag this 300-pound
yeah.
motherfucker back
Because
home.
I'm a child, I've peed 4 times because I have the bladder and control of.
On yourself or just
No.
Okay. thank God.
And in this walk, my dad goes, "You just pee outside. We're in the wilderness." And I was like, "This is incredible.
Hey, there's 900 bathrooms
Yeah.
around us.
This is great."
Go nuts.
And so I have to pee, and I was like, "Well, I gotta find a tree." And I find one, and it's just lying on the ground. And I was like, "Well," because I'm a child and I'm dumb, I go, "Well, I have to pee on the end to make sure it dies faster." Is that?
You peed on the tree your dad chopped down.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I peed directly onto the handhold of which I peed on our Christmas tree. And not only did I pee on the Christmas tree, I peed directly where my dad had to put his hand to have a good grip.
And he was cognizant of this.
Not until I was done peeing.
Why the fuck were you guys away from that? Why were you not aware of which tree he had just chopped
I
down?
don't know.
In what situation? Like, were you just wandering around like fucking drool
Yeah,
coming out of your mouth,
yeah,
your eyes pointing in different
I
directions?
wasn't conscious until I was about 18 years old. I was
Jesus.
just wandering through life. Yeah, I was like, unless it was eating and a bowel movement, there was
It's
no cognitive
cold.
thought. Yeah.
I gotta pee.
You basically just described me up until my junior year of college.
Shut the fuck up, dude. Oh my
So
God.
I peed on our tree. And I think, and I've had a lot of issues with my father. That is the most disappointing I've ever seen him.
I mean, it's on him for you not even being around while he's chopping down the tree. Like,
Like, it wasn't. Like, just imagine, because I remember my dad being so mad and I couldn't figure it out because I just had to pee. But I put myself in my dad's shoes. You've hiked 2 hours. You've lost 2 family members and a dog trying
and
to find
spent
this tree.
30 minutes
And
cutting this motherfucker down.
Cutting it down, and all you want is you're like, finally, all I have to do is get it back
Drag
to the
it
car.
home.
And you turn around and you see your oldest, the one who's supposed to be like your legacy. Like all your hopes and dreams.
The one that's supposed to be little you. Yeah.
Yeah, the one you put so much hope and determination
And
and pride
expectation,
into.
yeah.
Yeah. And you look, and he is smiling ear to
Yeah.
ear, peeing on your Christmas
His
tree.
fucking, and it's not even just dick out. His fucking pants are around his
like,
ankles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just ass to the frozen air, peeing
Right.
directly onto the Christmas tree. And he doesn't even think he's doing something wrong.
Yeah,
he's too dumb to think
He's
about what he's
giggling
doing.
because it's steaming. And
Yeah. And you realize, like, oh, so this won't be the president I thought he would be.
the fact that you were like, I gotta pee on the end to kill it faster is
Yeah.
pretty fucking funny.
That's telling. That's telling of the kind of thought process I had as a child.
I mean, I don't really think so. I think you're just like, well, the tree's already dead.
I gotta kill it faster.
Oh man, it's already gonna die.
Like, I could have peed on any part of that tree, but I had to pee on the freshly. And I remember my dad.
Also,
asked,
why did you have to pee on the tree, bro? If there's a bunch of snow, I'd have been like,
I
peeing
don't
in the
know.
snow is way
I
more
think I was
fun.
so conditioned through that entire hike that if I'm going to pee, it has
yeah.
to be on a tree.
You're like, this tree, that tree.
And it's a story my dad tells consistently, because he thinks I'm dumb.
I think it's pretty funny though.
Yeah, I love it's just the image. Like, that's such a sitcom thing. Just imagine a whole half an hour TV show, and the punchline of the whole
That
episode
really
is your son pees on the
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
tree.
You walk to go grab the saw or set the saw down, or whatever. You come back, your kid's peeing all over it.
And I just and my dad, filled with fatherhood, determination, and anger, he drug that tree back, and we got that tree home, and we decorated that night.
See, I try to think about what the fuck I would do in that situation, and I mean, like, yeah, it really is just pee.
Yeah, fuck. Are you gonna cut down another one?
Exactly, bro. I'm not gonna spend another 30 minutes.
And I'm sure that pee's gonna evaporate or come off in the mile hike back.
Exactly, yeah. So
It's just,
it's the symbolism.
I just realized, like, yeah, I had like a lot of memories from my childhood. Like, if you told them out loud, would sound awful. Like a mile hike to get a tree to a mile hike back, or that time I went camping with my brother and my dad, and it monsooned, but we camped at the bottom of a hill.
Nice.
So it took us a half an hour to get back up because it was a mudslide. I remember having a lot of fun, but the only reason that's fun is because I didn't have a phone in my pocket. Because you imagine that story with a phone in your pocket?
I think you just have to give in. I mean, you just hope your jeans covered up enough.
Yeah, like, I didn't care because I didn't have any electronics or anything important. It was just me, my brother, because my dad went up the hill no problem because he's an adult.
Yes.
But I remember getting halfway up the hill and I looked down and my brother is sliding face first down the hill. He cannot get up this fucking hill. And I'm getting like halfway because I'm slightly stronger than him. And my dad's at the top going, well, I can't come. I will fall down this hill if I go get my kids.
Your brother's like Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie, the fucking big dumb one who's always getting hurt. Like,
Yeah.
that is the most Ed, Ed and Eddie shit I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, there's a mudslide and we're trying to walk up it, and I turn around and I see him just sliding down head
Yeah,
first.
and he's like crying, and he's frustrated because he can't get up this hill. And I remember, fuck yeah, I had to help because my dad was up on the top of the hill looking for the car. I had to help my brother get up that fucking hill. I think I pulled him halfway through, just through his arm, like Ralphie in the mall, just pulling him through. Like, we gotta go. And then I think in the end, I like just straight up like put him on my back and I crawled up the fucking
Pull
hill.
the two mile back.
Yeah,
Good for your brother.
I mean,
Hey, honestly, why is it so fun to just like fuck around in the rain when you're a kid? Or just any elements, just to be like, I am uncomfortable, but this is fun.
yeah,
I think it's just because it's new.
I think because I remember a lot of my memories. I'm uncomfortable and fucking just miserable,
Yeah, like I played
but they're not bad.
a couple football games when it was like one of them like was a legitimate downpour.
Yeah.
and we're out there like I'm punching people in the fucking rain. But like there were a couple of moments when I was like, bro, this shit's kind of fun. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like it adds like this weird energy to everything when you're just like,
I'm miserable. This is fun.
kind of, yeah. Because
Yeah.
there were definitely moments when it was just miserable. Like I'm trying to breathe and
Yeah.
fucking water's getting in my mouth
Yeah.
and shit. I'm like, oh.
Like once a year, when me and my brother were kids, we would walk across a frozen lake, which rare were my parents, but
I mean, honestly, a frozen lake ain't that bad. I did that
Yeah,
shit a
yeah.
lot too.
we would just walk out in the middle of the lake and we would go. I guess we walk back.
Oh, really? My friends would definitely make like you'd get like a run up on the cement, and then you'd fucking jump and land on the ice, and you try to slide on your feet for as long as you
Yeah.
could. Yeah, that shit was always fun.
I just remember we took my buddy, I think he was my roommate in college, so it was like he had really strict parents, so he couldn't come back home so he just stayed at my house. So I was just like, hey, me and my brother are gonna go do a lake walk. Did you want to come? He was like, a what?
He's
I was
like, excuse me.
It's like, Walnut Creek, the big lake? And he's like, yeah, what are you going to do? And I was like, I'm going to walk across it. I don't understand what you're not getting from this situation. And so,
the description's in the name,
yeah,
bud.
like, there's a lake. We're going to walk it. So we get out there, and there's this big, like, branch in the middle of the lake that you just climb on. And he's like, well, I finished, and we go back. And so I walk out there, and I'm on this branch. I'm, like, sitting on it. And my brother's, like, halfway through walking out. And my buddy's still on the shore, and I just hear, ah, blah, blah. I was like, what is he saying? And I just hear, I gotta take a shit. So I'm in the middle, and I drove, so I'm like, fuck.
Like, find some fucking snow,
Yeah, so-
shit in it, covered up, bro.
So I had to fucking, because you can't run on a lake, because I wear Vans. So I had to fucking half slide, half fucking waddle to get him back home to take a shit.
I'd have been pissed. I'd be like, really? This is like a dead ass. Like you should have shit before you left.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't think that. Yeah. That's the most dad moment I can remember from that year. Is just going, couldn't have gone beforehand.
yeah, before we went. But fuck. My friend group. I swear to God, we were some delinquents, dude. We did the dumbest shit just because we're bored. Like we live in the fucking not a small town, but
I mean, it's surrounded by farmland. There's not a lot.
Yeah,
You're a half an hour to anywhere.
pretty much. And then it's an overly safe town. Like there's
Yeah.
actually jack shit to do here.
Mhm.
So we just find. If we were in junior high, we all live in the same neighborhood. Like seriously, like 4 streets away from each other.
Mhm.
And so we walk home from junior high together. And on the way home, there's this little creek that you can walk on. So of course, in the winter, you're already in a
Where is
bunch of the junior high right over here.
What creek are you having?
So there's a creek down by Halleck.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's a creek in the middle of it. So yeah, we'd walk through that creek and then come up, to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
neighborhood. And so
That's the only like wilderness we have that
Exactly.
doesn't consist of corn.
exactly. So we're like, dude, this is kind of fun. Okay, this is a bunch of rocks. You can jump from rock to rock in the
it's the
summer
closest thing you can feel.
to like a wild area.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's but it's frozen. It's completely frozen over in the winter. So we'd fuck around on it every now and then. You get like some like little ice that would be bust through it and shit like that. But so we're just it's like the middle of winter. Like it's been so cold for so long. There's a bunch of snow and shit. So like it's been frozen.
Wow, I can't imagine what that feels
yeah, not at all. But it's
By
been
the way, it's currently
like negative.
witch's tit cold outside.
Yeah, dude, it's like -1 outside right now.
It's freeze like boiling water outside.
Yeah.
cold.
We okay, so we're walking down that, and so we've walked down it for like the past month already. So like we're not really excited to be walking on it. Like we're just like talking and shitting around and walking on it. And one of my buddies, he just for fucking fun stomps on the ice, and it cracks just so tiny bit. Like, and we're so used to that. Like it'll crack a little bit, but you won't fall through. And then his twin brother comes up and stomps in the exact same spot because he just saw him do it. It cracks a little more. And so I'm like, yeah, that's looking a little too deep. I'm going to walk around it.
Mhm.
And I go around it. And we have this dude who is in our friend group who is just like, I can't explain it. He was so dumb. I could not even fathom the things that he would say or do because I'm not smart enough to understand how dumb enough he was. You understand? And it would make
Yeah.
me fucking cry laughing so
He
many
was
times.
so stupid you couldn't even like fathom his morning routine.
Exactly.
Like, what do you do when you wake up?
Like,
Where do you wake up?
What?
Do you understand beds?
How are you alive? And so he's walking in the back of the group and he's talking to somebody, and they're walking right next to each other. But he's a little hefty, which is why I went around, because I'm also a little hefty.
You're a big boy.
And as you can tell that I'm alluding to, he walks up to the crack and he falls in. The creek is only like 3 feet deep, and only 1 foot goes in. So he falls down and racks himself on the edge of the ice. And not only so just, you know, just one leg. And so he's trying to get out and he pulls himself out. And like, it's really fucking cold outside. And he just fell into the coldest fucking water you can be in. And so he's like straight, like his teeth are starting to chatter a little bit. And we're like, oh fuck. Like, you know, we're all like busting a gut at first. Cause like, that's the fucking, like for 2 minutes, that's the most hilarious thing you could ever witness.
Oh, yeah.
And then we hear his teeth start chattering. We're like, oh, that's probably not good.
That's hypothermia.
Yeah, he's getting really cold. And they were like, we should probably go home. Like, we should probably run home with you.
Yeah,
and he was
you
like,
need to be in a hot shower.
he was like, then he was like, man, my mom just bought me these shoes. And I was like, what are you fucking talking about right now? That has nothing to do with anything. And then he took both of his shoes off and started running home. I was like, Kyle. And he like did it in such a way.
That'll be reversed.
He gave no time for anybody to understand his thought process. So we all just stood there as he ran home. Like, there's a bunch of snow and ice, and he's running home in socks, holding his shoes because his mom just bought them. And I'm like, we all know your mom. We know she's not going to be that mad. Like,
Yeah.
like, it was seriously I cannot. Like, he was just so out there, dude.
That just reminds me how, like, I don't want to say dangerous I used to be, but how dumb I used to be. Like, I've told you the potato thing. I back when we were kids, we would take artillery cannons, we'd buy them, and then we'd stand across a field and see if we could hit each other.
Like fireworks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd do that.
I think that's just a part of being a kid. But the thing is,
but like, here's something that's weird that I used to be really good at Smash Bros.
really?
I used to just kill it.
Were you talking about like in junior high, like a part of a club thing where you
No,
just
no,
all like?
just in high school we'd play it and I'd fucking destroy it.
Were you talking about like in a club, or you just
No,
like
no,
with
just
your
with
friends?
friends.
Oh,
And like, I might be good now.
who'd you play with?
Who'd I play?
Who'd you play? Yeah, what was your character?
I'd fucking destroy this Luigi. I would destroy it.
Luigi, bro. Wait,
I'd
in what
kill it.
game? In what game?
We played a lot of Project M, but I got
Oh.
good with like the new one. I could fucking destroy anybody, no problem.
I'm pretty sure you and I have played Smash, and you're really bad
Do-
at Smash.
Do you want to try right now? I can kick your fucking ass.
Like, I don't want to talk it up, but I'm pretty sure we got drunk and we played Smash, and you're not good at Smash.
It's because I was drunk. I could destroy you sober, no problem.
Okay.
No fucking problem. Right now.
Okay.
Ganondorf, Luigi.
Now, it has been a while since I've played this.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's just a warm up.
Yeah.
It's just a warm up.
Game.
All right, that was just a warm up. I just get in my sea lake. It's been a while. I said that. I'll pick the map.
Okay, alright.
All right, this is my map. This is where the tides turn. All right. What did I say about grabs? You would play a fucking broken character like Ganondorf. Fuck's wrong with it? We're cutting all the warm up stuff, right? No grabs.
I don't think that was a grab, bud.
Hey, like that shit.